How's it going, guys? It's your boy Poppy Wolf, and today we're going to be talking about Clannad for this episode of the Anime Love Talk. So, let's jump right in, shall we? So, Clannad and me have such an interesting relationship because I utterly love it, and it utterly makes me cry all the time I watch it. Clannad is just one of those slice of life animes that's just so. The word I would say is gloomy, dark, with a ray of hope at the end. So the premise of this show is Tomoya Okazaki is just this guy who's kind of drifting through life. He really doesn't care too much about stuff. He doesn't really even associate with other people other than his best friend, which is Yohei and Sunahara. And these two class president, or the class president and the vice president, I guess. I don't even know who they are, but they're two sisters. But other than that, he really doesn't associate with anyone, and he's kind of in a daze. It seems like he's depressed, and it's more of accepting this mundane life and not really appreciating anything else. But then one day he happens to catch a glance at a girl who says burger or ham. She says something of food, and it throws him off for a loop. He sees her, talks to her, and this new relationship kind of sprouts out from that. Okazaki, a person who's never really cared about anybody or anything, who can't stand his dad, who can't stand anything, is really happy that he gets to kind of escape into this person's reality where everything is utterly different. He meets her family, and the girl is, by the way, is Nagisa. I can't remember her last name. Fujikawa? No, that's Haruhi. But Nagisa is just such a fun, innocent character. She's wholesome lady. She's cool, she's fun, and her family is also extravagantly fun. They're very mirror imaging of her in a sense. She's the mirror image of her mom, and her dad is, in a sense, the mirror image of Tomoya Okazaki. It's really sweet to see like these two kind of people together, and it's so cool to see how wholesome her family is, to the point where it weirds out Tomoya, and we kind of see Tomoya's home life. And Tomoya, after his mom's passing, his dad turned to alcohol, and his dad and him don't have the best relationship because of a confrontation where they got into a physical fight that left Tomoya's shoulder broken or injured to the point where he can't really play basketball. And this really does trigger him to the point where playing basketball is one of his favorite things in the world, but now he doesn't get to enjoy that. The show goes like all romantic shows, where there's obviously other girls. There's Tomoyo, who's a underclassman who wants to be president. She's the cool underclassman chick, biker, kind of beater upper. Then you have what do you call it, violin girl, which is Kyo, I think, or Kyoko, who's has her own storyline. Then you have Fuko, who is their upperclassman, but she was in a coma for so many years, and it has like a whole supernatural element to that degree. And then excuse all the noise of my sister, she's talking to my dad. But and then you have the two sisters, Kyo and can't remember the other girl's name, but everybody wants his attention, everybody wants his love. They all see some different things about him that is pretty much always been there, which is Tomoya has a good heart. He's a stand-up person. It's just he doesn't put effort into things, and that's why he doesn't, that's why he kind of just slides to the side and just wastes his days away with his best friend Sunahara. And it's this kind of relationship building that really does give us like, okay, who would we want him to end up with? And of course it's Nagisa. She's best girl. She's fun. She's probably if he's the most like negative person, she's probably the most positive person. So they're able to balance each other out. This show has its sad moments when coming with certain characters and realizations that, this person isn't going to choose them. He's going to choose her all the time. And it's always worked out for the best. And what really draws me to this show is how much Okazaki doesn't understand why he's doing everything. Why he wants to help Nagisa get the drama club back together. Why does he help her in her little escapades for helping someone else? And he tries to bait off like, oh, I'm just doing it because I'm bored, or I'm doing it because I want baked goods. But I don't even think he fully realized it until the end, like towards the latter of the series, when he realized that it's all for Nagisa's sake, not just because he wants to, but because he sees the purpose of helping people out. He sees the beauty of it. He sees what it means to it, and I think it's just Okazaki naturally is a person who wants to help people, but he feels like if he helps people and he gets invested in their lives, one day they're gonna leave him and he's gonna be alone. So it's really interesting to see his character grow through the series and kind of accept and fight for his friends and the people he cares about, to the very point where he fights for that one person and exclaims what he wants from her. I'm of course referring to Nagisa. And yeah, this anime is just such a fun series. And I remember at the time I started watching this, I believe I was just finished Fruits Basket, just finished Oran Host Club, and I was looking for something sadder. And then at the time I'm not ashamed to say this, but I had kind of needed to break up with someone, and that was only because there was another confusing relationship. It was like a two thing. It was horrible. I was not the best person, and I definitely could have worked on the way I did stuff, but I obviously didn't. But at the time I was really feeling it. I had just broken up with my girlfriend at the time because I had feelings for someone else who didn't have feelings for me, and that left me in a weird, sad position. So when I started watching Clannad, at the time I was in the drama club, and the fact that they were having fun and doing all this made me kind of excited and kind of hope that, you know what, when I do drama, like real drama class, I hope that I can have such an exciting experience as these. And I don't really regret ever joining drama, because what makes me so connected to Clannad is the fact that I was a drama student, and I could see like the appeal of a ragtag group of people coming together just to make something happen, which my drama team definitely did. And the show is not all based off the drama club. It's just about helping people and moving forward and kind of growing as a person. So it was like the perfect series for me to watch. And at the time, Clannad was just probably the best series for me. It helped me understand what the feeling of going through the motions was, and the best way to kind of fix yourself. And it's kind of, you have to help yourself before you can help you before you find your way. You have to help people find theirs. And I feel like that's what really helped me with this series, is like it opened me up to the idea that I need to be able to be there for people without expecting something in return or a favor in return, but in the fact that helping somebody was gonna help me. Clannad is just a powerful series that expects that, and then they draw everyone with so much big beady eyes. It's kind of hard not to like think that all the characters are cute and everything, but Clannad still holds the title of one of my favorite animes up to this day, and still one of the saddest ones I've ever watched. When certain sad scenes happen in the series, it really pulls on the heartstrings, and then it asks the bigger questions of like characters of what matters most to people. How do you go forward? How do you help relive people's dreams? And how do you basically see the light again? How do you see the colors of the world again when everything always felt so gray? And I think that's what this series really does good on, is it gives you that little nudge, that little push, and it kind of gives you a satisfying not, I wouldn't say end most likely, but it gives you a nice satisfying conclusion to the first part of the series, where you're like, oh, so the characters got together, awesome. And I know it's probably a spoiler, but spoiler alert, I guess. This series is really cut, like it's really like, you know, not case closed, but it's very open and shut. Like you get what you get, and I think if you really give yourself time for it, you'll enjoy both Clannad and Clannad After Story. Right now we're only talking about Clannad 1 because After Story is something I watched later, and I'll talk about later because God, did that depress me. But yeah, so altogether, Clannad has just been one of my favorite animes and fun, and especially coming off of like Fruits Basket and getting off of Fruits Basket and Oran Host Club. I was still in that kind of like, you know, I want to watch another shoujo, something that's sweet, something that's like very like a girly anime in a sense. And this is one that really touched my soul and really made me sad. And I was again at a confusing time when I'm, you know, between breakups and getting with someone. This show kind of put everything in perspective for me and kind of helped me through interesting problems. And I gotta give it up for that. So Clannad is always gonna hold a special place in my heart, and I have to say, like, Clannad is just, it's just one of those series that at first premise you're thinking, oh, I don't know if I'll be into it. Just watch it and enjoy, because although it's very dark and gloomy and very like retrospective and introspective, it also has a lot of humor in it. There's a lot of fun things happening between Sunohara and Tomoyo, or Sunohara and Okazaki, and a lot of it is just based off of the energy that these kids have. And I think, I say kids in the show, not in the text of the voice actors, but what really sells the show is the relationships of the story, and how like everyone interacts with each other, and how far they're willing to go, and how some people are willing to even put aside like their own feelings of romanticness or love for their friends. And it's just so awesome, and I think I really enjoyed this series. And there's a certain scene that I want to talk about, and it's the scene where he chooses. And I want to say how impactful this scene was, is because there's a scene where Nagisa comes back from school, and she's saying thank you to everybody who's helped get the drama club back together, and all the girls have seen this as a chance to get closer to Okazaki. And right when Nagisa gets hurt by a fly ball from the tennis court, Tomoya is the first person to run to her side, hold her, check on her. And right when somebody tries to even just touch her, his first instinct is to push them away from her, and he carries her to the nurse's office. And the sad thing is, everyone in that moment sees who Tomoya really does love, and they see it even before Tomoya does. He doesn't even understand why he's doing all this, but Kyo and her sister see that he's choosing her. It's Nagisa that he's in love with. Even his childhood friend Kyoko Coco is there, and she's at glance had feelings for him, but kind of realized off the bat that it always was Nagisa. And for Tomoyo, she just realized, yeah, the man that I was helping all this for was doing all this for someone else. And none of them feel bitter towards it whatsoever. And I think that was the beautiful aspect for me, is like, it's to understand, like, he never meant to hurt no one's feelings, but he never knew, but it feels like he doesn't even know who he has feelings for. Everyone else is just realizing that through his actions, he cares about her more than anybody else. It's very sweet. It's a very nice moment, because you're like, oh wow, so he loves her and he doesn't even know it. And throughout the series, there's little tidbits that have kind of shown that, with Sunohara teasing it, with Re. It's Kyo and Ren, I think that's their names. I just remember the twin sisters' names. And it's just like, they all see it, they all know who he like is kind of leaning towards, and they do everything in their power to kind of sway him. But if you guys also, what's so fun about the series too, it's all based off of light novels, is there's OVAs that show him with the other girls, and they're all right. So I know Clannad After Story has the one with Kyo, Ren, and him. The regular Clannad has the Tomoyo one where he picks Tomoyo. The series kind of already goes through the one with Fuka and the violin girl. I'm just call her violin girl. So like, I guess if you kind of wanted to see him with someone else, you can. But they're not as good. It's not as good. It's just whatever. The storylines are like only for the episode, so it's whatever. But yeah, I definitely love Clannad, and it holds a whole fucking place in my heart, because it really, guys, like I said, it helped me through a rough time. And I still, to this day, every time I watch it, I remember watching it during Thanksgiving, it makes me cry, and I think it really humbles me and reminds me why I love living and why I appreciate life so much. And it's kind of weird that I have to be sad to enjoy it, but it's a happy sad. And altogether, Clannad is, I put it on a pedestal, and I always will, because it's one of my favorites. Anyways, guys, thank you so much. This was the Anime Love Talk. I still, like I said, I don't know if I want to do a podcast format, or if I want to do just like this, where I do clips and I talk over it. But I'm still thinking of what I want to do with the series, guys. If you guys have any suggestions, I would really glad if you let me know. Anyways, guys, this is your boy Papa Wolf saying peace out, and remember, 1,000 subscribers. And if you guys want to know what next week we're talking about Angel Beats. So enjoy that, tears.